and bullied and lied at. It is my right to make a report, but these assholes have denied me that right repeatedly. The picture on the front of this, that's James Murphy. The police should have done something about him, but they didn't. They wanted to play fucking retarded and go out of their way not to do their jobs. That includes Trent Olson on at least half a dozen occasions. That includes Officer Lotham on over half a dozen occasions. I pay attention to current events, the situations with the local prisons, with the abuse that's going on there. You goddamn right I speak up. We'll go to YouTube. We'll see if this thing is working now. Seems to be. I spent $104 on making sure that both these phones had plans. It sucks that I have to have both phones, but the fact is I had to have a phone so he calls. Not that anyone ever gives a shit. Sure, people will talk about how horrible it is, but they never help the other victims turn it in. The hell that I've gone through because the police have forced me to go to drug addicts and drug dealers, alcoholics. Cops have bullied me into moving repeatedly. And that's not okay. Officer Trent Olson showed up tonight to bully me again. I was hoping this once he would do his job. I was hoping this once that dispatch, instead of bullying me, would listen. But no, they were going out of their way not to listen. Going out of their way to talk over me, as always. As they always do. The evidence I was trying to turn in last year, I still have it. I still have the evidence against that James Murphy feller. If it hadn't been for them cops bringing me the paperwork, I wouldn't know his name because I haven't been able to go through literally thousands of recordings that I have. I haven't been able to sit down and fucking organize it. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. I'm gonna go talk to some folks. It was nice to me. Gave me some cigarettes and some food. already. I'm not gonna bug them. Their cars have been stuck in that same spot for over a week. I'm hoping nobody fucks with them. That young lady's got a pretty good story to tell, and I think people should hear it. It goes right along with current events, along with sexual assaults, abuse against inmates, police bullying. And Jason Aldean, the only thing that small towns give a fuck about is their hatred. That's the thing you don't understand, because you, a city boy. Nashville is not a small town, bitch. See, here's the thing. Jason Aldean, that song that he made is racist. Because it's bigotous and ignorant. Gives people a false impression of a place that he's never had to exist. Small towns are for broke people. Or people who get lots of free money and government subsidies because they're farmers. There's a lot of predators in this town, including every one of the police.
Regardless if I own the property or not, my name's not on it.
I'm sorry, I was talking to my YouTube channel. I wasn't trying to be rude.
I pick things up and I don't hear what's going on. You know, I have a sense of things and I start talking, just letting you know where I'm at so I don't accidentally hit you with something.
Oh, you're good.
Yep.
And thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, that's why I talk to myself. So you know where I'm at. Proximity locator, you know. No biggie. It's not down right here.
The problem is, no matter what, I'm just going to get talked over. And the more they talk over me, the more difficult it is for me to speak, and the more afraid I have to be. These cops have done everything that they can not to do their jobs and to send me to other places that refuse to do their jobs. Tillamook Family Counseling Center, what they told me and Susan when we were on the call with them in the DA's office. DA's office had us call them because they're supposed to be mandated reporters. I already knew that they were the APS, and I explained that to the lady. Hey, these places are the Adult Protective Services here. So what'd she do? She gave me the number to Adult Protective Services. I called Adult Protective Services already on multiple occasions. And in this county, they send you to who? They send you to Northwest Senior and Disability Center, the very place that we had called yesterday, day before yesterday now. At the DA's office, we made this call. Of course, she wanted to go down to the basement where I get shitty reception. And that's the thing about trying to record it live and show every word. These people know all the tricks of the trade. They know all of the things to do to prevent that from happening. No matter what, all these son of a bitches wanted to do is separate me from my support network. All they wanted to do was lie to people and mislead the situation in order to have me harmed, to retaliate against me for telling on them. And what am I telling on them for? For taking advantage of an at-risk adult and helping my predators to get away. If they're going to call me mentally ill, they have to afford me the rights of a disabled person. See, that's the thing, is that my disability here is how easily you can talk over me. Just call me mentally ill and magically anything that you do to me is okay. It must be my fault. All these officers victim blame and victim shame. You get to see how no matter what, I don't get to make a report. Who am I supposed to turn it into? One of my predators? All of these cops have taken part in this rape, and there is no other thing to call it. This is inhumanity at its greatest. This is the real America, people. You wonder why it is that I changed my country, my place of birth, to Moscow, Russia. Nobody should be more ashamed than Americans. As an American, I'm thoroughly disgusted by this country and its inhabitants. Their complacency, their excuses, their victim shaming and blaming, their assumptions based on their bias. At no point in time did the law come into play. At no point in time was the law followed by any law enforcement officer. Matter of fact, the law was not followed by any mandated reporter. They wanted to pretend that the things that I turned into them were not crimes. They wanted to refuse to look at the evidence and then pretend that I don't have any. You're going to find one thing in Tillamook. The same thing you're going to find in any other small town in America. Bigots. At least that's one part of small town life that Jason Aldean has down pat. He can hate with the best of them and promote violence with the best of them. That's the thing, he's not promoting the law, he's promoting lawlessness over things that don't happen in small towns. Those things happen in big cities, and he would know that if he had ever had to live in a small town. There's only one thing I have to say about this great nation. It is not great. Oh wait, I got plenty more to say about this not so great nation. This is why I fight so hard for assisted termination of life. I literally have to do desperate things because no matter what, the cops are going to talk over me. Everyone does. Susan even talked over me quite a bit yesterday. Now for her, it's understandable. She's new to this. For those cops, they're trained in how not to antagonize the victim. And that's exactly what they do. As soon as you try to turn in a cop, they become hostile. No officer here has allowed me to even make an audio report. They literally all talk over me and lie to me and lie at me. I had to go to at least, I want to say 3 or 4 appointments with Tamara. Oh, you tried going to Tides of Change? Yeah, I tried going to Tides of Change. Sorry, not Tamara, Monica. I've had to deal with a lot of people. There's several Tamaras, several Monicas, several Martinezes, several Olsons. Where's Polly Olson right now? What was she charged with? You fucking cowards. I did try to get a hold of her. That's the thing about not having a friend or family member that I can call when shit's going down. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. Alright, let's see if we can find my channel. Two witnesses to a pervert in Hood River. It's from 1 year ago. This is while I was in Hood River trying to turn in this guy. You guys remember I was telling you about the youngins that rescued me from the man who was trying to assault me in the McDonald's, and how if it hadn't been for them, he would have assaulted me. These are the same folks that were cleaning up there. Logan Bishop and his girlfriend Shayna. A few other encounters that they've had with that man since that I think are important, and they felt were important enough to tell me. So if they want their they came up to me. Now this is after I'd been trying to get help turning in what the cops had told them. See, that's the thing, is that cops nationwide will slander your name to the homeless population, same as they've done here. Not that it matters, they don't give a fuck. In small towns, they protect the predators. They protect their own. Like those racist little shits. Now the other people in the parking lot, they'd like to get sleep too. This is the first night they'll be getting a decent night's sleep. They did not have nice things to say about those racist little shitheads. Faces on camera, they can point the camera, at themselves. If not, they can point it up at the sky. But I'm going to give the young lady the camera first because I feel that, you're more likely to listen to her. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to.
I don't want to.
Now, if it says rotate like it does right now,
yeah,
then it means that it's not. There you go.
Okay.
Point it up the street or down the street.
Hello.
Now, first of all, there's a lot of stories. A lot of them that Shayna and Logan were a part of. I got recording after recording after recording that show that. But I can't just sit down with my computer with enough time to go through all this stuff. Cops have preyed on my disabilities. What are my disabilities from? It's PTSD from being bullied my entire life. I either do what you want me to do or you will harm me. That's as simple as it is. If I tell on you, you call me mentally ill and you magically win. Nobody investigates anything, nobody looks at anything, nobody fucking tries.
Okay. So, one time I was hanging out with the old guy and
we didn't know his name.
We were talking about, I was trying to maybe set him up with like this girl I knew, like jokingly, and she was like 26, 27, and we started talking about my cat, and then he asked me how old she was, so I thought he was talking about my cat, and I said that she was like 15, 16, and he's like, oh, that's perfect, and I was like, what do you mean, because I thought we were talking about my cat, and then I realized he was talking about the girl, and I said, no, she's 26, and then he's like, oh, that's perfect, anyways, but that was really messed up. And then he got banned from this pool here because he was perving on little kids. So he's not allowed at the pool anymore. And he's just really messed up.
Alright, so that's just one of the situations with him. And of course, the young man who's with me, he's also, well, like I said, not all of my heroes are a bunch of rich people, and the things that both of these youngins have done, not only to help to clean up the community, but also to look at... Yeah, they cleaned up the fucking parking lot, same as me. And just like here, it was youngins there fucking trashing the place. A lot of adults trashing the place too. Out for one another, and also to look out for a complete and total stranger. with a beard, that being me. If they hadn't stepped forward when they did in McDonald's, there would have been a physical altercation, and they rescued me from that. Just like the people that worked down at the Astro. You guys got to hear on multiple occasions when I was getting messed with, people there spoke up. And it's important to do that. I recorded time and again the difference between, well, my quote-unquote friends who wanted to make excuses and the people at Astro who did something immediately. That dude with the rocks, the day that I met Logan, that wasn't the first time that the cops fucking harassed me over that dude with the rocks. It wasn't the first time that they'd lied about me to the homeless people in that community either. That was the first time that I was able to get the words of the witnesses, Logan and Shayna, and what they had to say about it. They were also afraid of the police, same as most homeless people. Because we are talked over. We are second-class citizens. Just because they talk nice while they're victimizing us doesn't mean that they're not lying to us and victimizing us and taking advantage of us. It's important to work together, and it's important to make people aware. Now, I was going to let the young man here do the same thing. If you turn it to the side like this, it'll say rotate device. He didn't give a shit. He straight up put his face on it and everything. Rotate device thing, it's not recording, it's just being a pain. So usually what I'll do is I'll point it up at an angle like this, or I'll point it, up the street or some other direction. That way this part's facing up. Okay. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Logan Bishop, and I can confirm that Shayna's story is true. And these claims are not to be taken lightly. He is definitely a very creepy man.
One time he bought some marijuana, and he wasn't letting Logan or I touch it. And then all of a sudden he's like, can you fill this cone for me? And I was like, okay. And I did it, and then I gave it to him. He's like, no, I don't want it. I want you to smoke it. And then I was like, why? Oh no, it stopped recording. Wait. Anyways, so he wanted me to fill the cone. And I filled up the cone for him, and I gave it to him. And he said, no, I want you to smoke it. And I was like, why? And he said, to get me in the mood. And I was like, what? For what? And then he winked and got all weird. And so I just took it and smoked it with my boyfriend. It was really messed up. All right, here you go.
Absolutely. I wasn't trying to cut you off either.
Yeah.
Both of you guys have done great things. And that's one of the things that I want to impress upon you out here is that people who have looked out for me, these are not rich people. These are poor people, and they're looking out for each other. And without each other, it becomes a very unsafe situation. Not just for him, but also for her. Now, I want to say what it is that I always say at the end of these things. It's good to be with you. Oh my God, right? They're killing me. I got one bit me on my thumb on video earlier. I squished it and... Alright, I guess that one's not... the rest of it's basically just that stuff. This one's from a month ago. The people that you tell me are supposed to help me do not exist. They exist to take our money. All right, we've got people who are elderly out here, 65 or older, and physically disabled, and they're all being sent to mental health because they're poor people. So a therapist makes money off of them. Even though that therapist is supposed to be a mandated reporter, and that's why we're sent to them, they want to blow these people off over to the physical disability place who wants to blow them off to the mental disability place. It's not that we don't try to turn in the crimes committed against us, it's that we are prevented from doing so. There's a lot of people out here who have been through a lot of trauma of their own, and they'll use that as an excuse to look the other way and treat you like crap right after you've helped them. Now some of these,
made a deal. Hey, I'll help you if you help me. Okay.
I renamed them after I started them because the old guy showed up. And this is one of them. Let me find it though. Oh, come on. See, he kept on parking over by my vehicle and literally pointing his vehicle at mine. This is when he was staring at me over at the Tillamook parking lot, I believe. I made sure that I got his license plate number.
44648.
Because he changed license plates since I saw him last. That was a month ago. I'm gonna click on this one just so I can go to my channel. I'm gonna click on this one just so I can go to my channel. I'm gonna click on this one just so I can go to my channel. Alright, I'm at my channel. Apparently I clicked on the live video. And it's on a delay. Go to my live videos. Let's see. Teaching him how to advocate. Or you just been playing stupid?
Your current balance is 823. And that.
Alright, I think this one was actually about Officer Martinez and the situation today. Let's see, 12 hours ago. I think this is it. Guy whose profile is up. Let me see. Of course, the meanest stuff I couldn't do. I don't have a job, and that's why I've been trying to turn. Let's see. I've spoken up about the predators. From the moment that I came to this town, I started trying to establish a safe place for me.
Walk around and scream?
I was thinking about screaming later, but my voice gets a lot louder.
Yeah, just probably shut the fuck up.
Well, somebody's gonna have to put me in the ground to do that. Shut me up in 7 years.
People are tired of listening to it.
Yeah, and I'm tired of being victimized.
Well, but fucking go do something with your life, dude.
I've been doing something with my life. Here you are giving advice. Do you know what's going on? Do you know why I'm being loud? Do you? Do you know why I'm recording this on YouTube? Do you understand why I do this?
You're a fucking crackhead.
See, there you just start slandering names and making assumptions. You want to go to the hospital with me and I can take a whiz quiz and you can try that again? That's the thing. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, nobody does.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
And see, here you are bitching and saying nobody gives a shit while you're showing that you do give a shit.
I don't.
You do, or you wouldn't have stopped and been insulted.
I'm tired of listening to you yell. I'm 3 blocks away, dude.
Congratulations. This isn't yelling. I can yell.
No.
I can get a whole lot louder.
You need to be quiet.
I don't need to be quiet, and I'm not going to be quiet. Telling me to shut up doesn't work, and whether or not you're going to listen to it ain't my problem. You can walk away, and thank you for doing so. See how easy that is? No problem. I'm going to dig in the back for some other pieces of evidence. Lots of people think that I should shut up about child molesters and rapists. Lots of people think I should shut up about the abuse that I've endured. Lots of people. You also can tell that my volume gets louder with traffic. Of course, they want to get a little bit confrontational like that guy. That's not a problem. Alright, someone calling themselves Black Alien type shootout and some stuff about being gay. There ain't no problem with gay people. I don't see why people want to type that up as an insult. I don't have a problem with gay folks. I have problems with people who want to shove sexuality into kids' faces. You want to be gay? Be gay. You want to be straight? Be straight. If you can't help it, you can't help it. Black Alien typed male Karen. Well, of course. I'm not sure if you noticed, though, but I'm a bit of a Karen myself. The shit that people hate the most is stuff I learned from my predators. Of course, the meanest stuff I couldn't do. I don't have the ability to. Now, protecting myself from law enforcement has always been a tough chore, especially as a homeless person. It's Officer Martinez. He's talking nice. Now, as soon as we start getting into it, he's going to start saying things that are untrue. He's going to talk over me. He's also going to admit that he never filed a report. They never do. I tell them about the crimes committed against me. As mandated reporters, they have to turn it in. They have to do something to investigate the crimes against the victim. By refusing to do so immediately, they allowed my predators to utilize their positions to harm me repeatedly. You get to hear how it's not just the cops, it's not just the police department, it's also dispatch, the sheriff's department, the DA's office. Tillamook Family Counseling Center, CARE. Tides of change. Not only have I been to these places, I have recorded them talking over me. I recorded the situation at Tides of Change with Monica. Sometimes I say Tamara instead because I've also had to deal with quite a few Tamaras. Every time that I move, I have to learn a new set of names with no support. And if a crime is committed against me, I have to be afraid to go to the police because the police will blow me off if I go in alone. They will talk over me. They will lie at me, and they will send me to the wrong place knowing they're sending me to the wrong place. There's a lot of details that Susan gave me that she should have spoken about those to the DA. But she downplayed the stuff in the DA's office a bit. That's why it's a good thing I have the actual situations recorded. I think a lot of that had to do with, people don't want to get in trouble. People don't want to be retaliated against. And I think Susan wanted to feel out the situation, especially since it started off the way that it did. The lady was nice. She was also a bullshitter and a liar, and she knew already that if I call Adult Protective Services, I'm going to get sent to Northwest Senior and Disability Center, who, while we were on the phone with them in that basement, and my phone wouldn't connect, what was I supposed to do? I got lots of recording devices. They're all full of evidence and won't record anything more. I don't have access to a place where I can sit down with my computer and do what I need to do. I have to hope that the people at the library will let me use that room for more than 3 hours. And they're not going to. They told me I can do that twice, and I did it once already. I have to do it when I have someone who's going to help me that's actually going to listen. Susan's learning, and that's important. But also, the thing is that if something happens to me and there is an emergency, I have to be able to call a friend or family member before I call the police. When there's a situation, I have to record it on the device that I got to call 911 on. Because if I don't record it, they go, oh, well, if you didn't record it, no crime was committed. Meanwhile, anyone can fucking slander my name, and the cops will do everything in their fucking power to help those people get away with it. These people know what they're doing is illegal. And by sending me repeatedly to the people who have committed these crimes against me, allowing these predators to abuse their power again and again and again to prevent me from turning them in. When you force me to go to my rapist to turn in my rapist, you are committing a felony.
Oh no, I wasn't yelling. You've gotten to hear me.
When I yell, it gets real fucking loud. This ain't yelling. This is raising my voice. Now this right here, this isn't yelling either. This is how my voice gets when I'm talking over traffic.
Yeah, yell, haven't you?
Yeah, but I mean,
I can get very loud.
so were you just talking loud? Like I said,
I'm well aware of that. There was a guy who was just wanting to be threatening at me, and there's a guy on my YouTube channel typing at me about it.
so somebody was out here that was threatening you?
Yeah, just a minute ago, right before you pulled up, although that wasn't the whole situation. This is over. That guy that I spoke to you about over at Tides of Change last year,
What was his name?
his name's James Murphy.
Does he live here?
I just got served papers because he's been harassed.
Alright, so what I'm going to need to do is turn my Bluetooth on that.
Power on. Pairing.
We'll see if we can make that work better so you can actually hear the officer. He admitted to the situation, which is good because I have it recorded. But also, from here on in, he just fucking lies out his ass. Let's back it up just a little bit. Let's see if it's connected.
Black alien typed mail Karen. Well, of course. I'm not sure if you noticed though, but I'm a bit of a Karen myself. The shit that people hate the most is stuff I learned from my.
Alright, let's try turning this off and turning it back on, and maybe it'll connect to the one I want it to.
Power off. Power on. Pairing.
Predators.
No, let's see. Well, I guess that's not going to work for now.
Of course, the meanest stuff I couldn't do. I don't have the ability to. Now, protecting myself from law enforcement has always been a tough chore, especially as a homeless person. No, I'm not. Oh no, I wasn't yelling. You've gotten to hear me yell, haven't you?
Yeah, but I mean,
I can get very loud.
so were you just talking loud? Like I said,
I'm well aware of that. There was a guy who was just wanting to be threatening at me, and there's a guy on my YouTube channel typing at me about it.
So somebody was out here that was threatening you?
A lot
Yeah,
of
just
people
a
are
minute ago,
threatening
right?
me. The problem is that I don't always have it recording when they're threatening me. A guy who come up on me, he could have come up to me and talked to me like I was a human being instead of being a fucking punk. But he thought it was okay. He thought it was okay. He thought it was okay. It's not fucking okay. It's not okay that I am forced to do this shit in public. It's not okay that I don't have a safe place to sit down and do this because cops didn't want to do their jobs elsewhere. And it's not okay that this reputation is allowed to follow me everywhere and I am harmed everywhere I go because cops won't do their jobs for a homeless man.
Before you pulled up, although that wasn't the whole situation, this is over. That guy that I spoke to you about over at Tides of Change last year.
What was his name?
His name was James Murphy.
Does he live here?
I just got served papers because he's been harassed.
Now here's the thing. This is the officer that I tried to turn him into with Tides of Change. And you have no idea how hard I had to fight for that because Monica wouldn't do shit. She wanted to do the same thing as every other agency, have me fill out housing paperwork. I've already done that. Literally every one of these agencies, instead of helping me to turn in the crimes against me, wanted to do the housing bullshit, and I explained to literally every one of them, I've already done that. Stop changing the subject and fucking listen to the goddamn victim.
Me for months, and no matter what, nobody's doing anything to help me turn it in.
Okay. Does James Murphy live around here?
Show you my paperwork. He doesn't live here. He literally followed me here from Hood River, like I told you.
So he's...
Meanwhile, I have to talk nice to this cop after he's already retaliated against me on multiple occasions for trying to turn in him and his fellow officers. Here he is wanting to play stupid. Unlucky for him, I got it recorded. Lucky for him, this town is full of fucking cowards. Why do I have recording after recording after recording on my YouTube channel with these people showing that I told the truth? Why is it that they never helped me to turn it in? Not one of them. You get to see the situations where the mandated reporters like Nicole Vertner wanted to pawn me off on drug addicts who are already showing themselves to be completely fucking useless. Now, it would have been nice if I could have talked to Nicole Vertner one-on-one, but the problem with that is that Brian is a fucking crackhead and just wanted to do talking himself. He'd never bothered to actually listen. He wants to talk about this chunk of brass that he thinks is fucking gold. So he's been carrying around this fucking brass, telling everybody it's gold. He says it's 14 karat gold. Just a big old bar of it. It's not. It's fucking...
Power off.
It's just not.
He's physically here.
He's physically. I told you he was physically here when I talked to you at Tides of Change. Yeah,
No, I know.
I literally left town around 4th of July because that was this.
Now here's the thing. With all of the situations where I have gone to the cops by myself, they've talked over me, berated me, belittled me. Anything except listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. They want to change the subject, and that's what that questioning is about. It's about changing the subject. When they make statements over the top of me telling them what's happening, they are illegally making false statements at the victim, insinuating that it is the victim's fault, and that's not okay. Cops not doing their jobs is what forced me to record everything. The fact that recording stuff and not being able to record it live has resulted on multiple occasions in police officers committing crimes against me, and I literally had to plead guilty to crimes I didn't commit to get my fucking evidence back. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. And I do mean that.
Sixth time that he pulled this. And then when I got back from Astoria and Warrenton, which is where I was trying to go to get away from that, and hopefully when I come back he was gone. Well, I came back and he's been doing this again.
Is he still here in the area?
Yes, he is. He was just here 2 days ago. There's a lady named Susan.
Like right now?
I don't know.
Because you mentioned that he was in...
He was...
That's the thing, is that he's not listening to what I'm telling him. He's trying to change the subject and talk over me. He already knows that the guy isn't here today. He already knows. That's why he's changing the subject to that. The thing is, when these crimes are committed, I can't call 911. I can't call 911 because I have to record it. If I don't record it, they refuse to do anything because I didn't record it. If I do record it, they refuse to do anything because I didn't call 911. Fuck the police. Anyway, I'm going to get me another cup of coffee. Now that I have money, I can do that. All my money is spent before I get it. There is no possible way for me to do these things. And I need someone, instead of interrupting me to try to compare fucking stories and make it a pissing contest, I need them to stop and actually listen without interruption. I literally have to rehearse it before I go to speak to somebody, because I have to be able to try to keep on topic when everyone is trying to change the subject. This is ongoing abuse by this piece of shit. The reason that I don't call 911 is because I am bullied by 911 and bullied by the cops when they get here. They talk over me and sell their own false narrative over the top of what I'm saying. Obviously, with Susan not answering her phone, there's nothing I can do about that. That's not my fault. That's her phone issue. She can't get the message. Every time she says it doesn't come through, and then she tells me that she had to turn that stuff off because people keep harassing her. The fact is, all these people think it's okay to harm me. They think it's okay to antagonize me. But you see how quickly they turn into punk-ass little bitches if I do it back. If I even threaten to do it back. Hell, with them racist little fucking shitheads, I didn't have to do anything wrong to them. They were just pissed off that they got busted doing wrong shit. Those little bastards put Tillamook on the map for making racists. These children are born and bred to hate black people, just so you know. They're born and bred to hate Hispanic people, just so you know. They are born and bred to hate on homeless people, just so you know. Those children are a direct reflection of the adults in this town. How many people did I go to about the abuse by this son of a bitch in this town? Huh? How many witnesses to the situation with Molly are there in this town that never tried coming forward? Not once to this day have any of the scutters come forward with me to turn this shit in. Ever. Do I hate the scutters? Fuck no. Do I hate their cowardice, their laziness, their complacency, and their excuses? Fuck yes. But you know what? Despite the fact that they never actually tried to help turn this shit in. Matter of fact, they all did everything that they could to try to avoid the situation. If these were good people, they would have helped to turn it in right away. They would have listened to me instead of talking over me, making assumptions, and making literally zero effort to this day to turn it in. To this day, only one Scudder ever made an effort to turn this shit in. And guess which one that was? Jared Scudder. When Tyler Crabtree showed me his asshole that day. The thing is, Susan knows that it's unsafe for me to go to any of these agencies. But by calling them with me, like she has, she gets to hear it with her own 2 ears. She's obviously not going to be able to take the time to sit down with me and look at all the evidence. That's the problem with not having a friend or family member when Natalie was killed, or for the whole year before Natalie was killed, to help me. Is it the sheer quantity of crimes committed against me that went unreported? Not that I didn't try to report them, but that police did not report them. Even if I called 911 in the state of Nebraska, a police officer has to do that job. But what did Scott Costa do? He helped Jordan Anderson to flee the state of Nebraska before admitting that, well, he literally threw his former employee under the bus. He admitted that Jordan Anderson didn't do his job. But none of those cops did their jobs. They did the same thing cops here do. They bully the fucking victim. They go out of their way to take advantage of at-risk adults here because they make a lot of money off of it. So do these agencies like TFCC. I go to my YouTube channel because I have no friends to go to in real life. The best thing about Susan is that she's sober. Some guy over at the Burger King throwing stuff literally at the Burger King. I am sure that is not what he should be doing. Looks like the guy from the other night, the one with the backpack, them youngins going after, came by all passive aggressive for quite a while. He stayed up all night. After them kids left, he still stayed up all night. People don't like being recorded, I get that. Here's the thing. You're too cowardly to be recorded, I can't believe that you're going to be honest. Well, that situation with Mr. Murphy, I got multiple situations between Tillamook, or between Hood River and here. The thing is that I can't turn in those recordings because the police refuse to look at it. All of these places refuse to look at it. They refuse to look at the evidence. They refuse to allow me a room where I can sit down and write a report. All of these places. Literally, not a single one of these places has a room that I can sit down in and just write down what the fuck is going on. Not one of these places. Not one. I needed someone to be there and present every time I spoke with the police. And it wouldn't have been as many times as it's been if I'd had someone to go with me to talk to the police. Fuck the police. Fuck everybody in Tillamook. There's a lot of people I like. Look at how many of the people I've spoken highly of that I also told about my stalker, and how many of them cared enough to help turn it in. Susan. Not only that, Susan is screwed up. Not only that, Susan has admitted that she screwed up. Guess what? I've screwed up too. And guess what? I admit that I screwed up. I admit how I screwed up. So did Susan. She admitted how she screwed up. She didn't fucking hide from it. Which is more than I can say for Shannon Alvarado. Toyota Tacoma 783BXG. That's the license plate number. It's an Oregon license plate. Time to get coffee. To this day, I have not been allowed to make an oral report, which is my right by law. By these officers talking over me, selling false narratives. They're denying me my rights as a human being. What? No, I was waiting for that to dry so I get some coffee. Thank you. As soon as the sun comes up, all that has to get spent on bills. On the bright side, the sun hasn't come up yet. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You too. Oh, I forgot to get a sleeve. Is there a way to grab a sleeve for the cup? The thing is, I have to be afraid to call the cops alone. If a crime is committed against me, it doesn't matter if I call 911. The cops aren't going to do their jobs. Because I'm homeless, every time that a crime is committed against me, I need a place where I can sit down and write out a report. I don't have that. I've never had that. Every service has denied me that one simple thing. No matter what, these pieces of shit will prey on the fact that I want my life to end every day over their abuse. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. This country is full of cowards. There's one person I know who's not a coward, and that person is me. Ain't none of y'all standing up to these KKK son of a bitches. But guess who is? Me. Who is it who, every time those punks want to use that N-word, who is it that speaks up every time? Me. The difference between you and me is that you're a coward. The difference between you and me is that if you needed my help, you'd get it. But there's a difference between need and want. When you are called mentally ill and you are homeless, you need someone who cares about you to help you turn it in. But none of you want to listen to that. Not every woman in this country is a gold-digging idiot. The question isn't, why didn't I go to the police? The question is, why didn't the police do their jobs? The question isn't, why didn't I call 911? The question is, why didn't they do their jobs? Obviously, if the police are already fucking there, I don't need to call 911. They're already there. If they're not going to bother to investigate anything until I've made a written report, they need to allow me to make that fucking written report immediately. The fact is, these cops didn't want to do their jobs. That's it. You don't want to do your jobs for a fucking homeless person. I'm not required to tell anybody that I record. But I do, don't I? Of course I do. I tell people that I record. No, I can't function after being abused like that. Susan didn't talk over me because she's a bad person. she's not a bad person. Most of these people aren't bad people. They just did bad things. And between fessing up to it and victimizing me, they'd rather victimize me. The thing with Susan is that she doesn't know enough about the situation. I do need her to listen to it. I was trying to tell her about my disabilities yesterday, and she interrupted me about 5 or 6 times. The problem is that I couldn't keep my stuff recording, and her assumptions of what was a recording device and what wasn't are also completely wrong. Does that mean she's a bad person? No, it means that she made assumptions and she talked over me, which is common. A lot of people think I need advice. I don't need fucking advice. I need a friend or fucking family member to go in with me and help me to turn it in. Instead of letting these people talk over me. See, that's the thing about the lady at the DA's office. She literally just talked over me. With Susan, she's at least trying, which is more than I can say for anybody else. A lot of people who tried, that I gave credit to for trying, turns out they never did. They never did. Jared Scudder was the first person to actually make a call with me and be there with me, with the cops, and actually fucking speak up. Susan did speak up a little bit about the situation with that old guy harassing my vehicle, but then she was making excuses why it wasn't important, and that is a big issue. Like, that is a very important thing, and she does need to speak up about it. Downplaying it like it's no big deal just allows those people to get away with doing it again. It allows them to use that excuse. That doesn't mean that Susan's a bad person. It's not like she did it to try to screw me over. She certainly didn't. Kind of like Shannon Alvarado. She didn't become an alcoholic to screw me over. She was an alcoholic before she ever knew who I am. Then she wanted to repeatedly lie at me and lie to me and talk over me like everyone does. But unlike Shannon Alvarado, Susan admits when she makes a mistake. I admit when I make a mistake. Or the other people that are staying in the parking lot, the ones that I got food for, they got some stories to tell too. And they're important. They go with current events, stuff that's in the news. Who it is that they victimize. cops not doing their jobs when I first got here resulted in so many crimes that there is no possible way that I can go through all the evidence. It is not possible. When a crime is committed against me, I don't want to be treated the way that Officer Olson treats me. Meanwhile, they're not working together with these agencies to help me. They're working together with these agencies to cover their own asses. And every one of these agencies has lied to me about whose job it is and sent me around in circles. You're goddamn right I speak up. Not that it matters, nobody listens. Logan Bishop was there when those officers in Hood River slandered me. Not just to him and his girlfriend, but also to that old racist fucker. My stalker here was stalking me in Hood River before I came here, and the cops there treated me the same too. They wanted to shove me off to mental health. Mental health wanted me to do the housing thing. They were not interested in any of the crimes against me. All they would do is change the subject. I stated loud and clear to all of these places that I was being abused and trying to turn in the abuse, and that the police had sent me to them to turn it in. All of these places that told me that it's not their job. Later on, turns out it is their job. Like those people at senior and disability place here in town. They are the Adult Protective Services. And that's just not okay. We're going to call Adult Protective Services now. I wonder what this one is. I started this video because if I'm not recording at all points in time, people can take any opportunity. This is fucking horse shit. You know, a lot of the people who promised to help me are going through hell right now. They fucking deserve it. Well, I'll have to rename that one once I end this video. It's not that I didn't reach out for help, it's that people are fucking selfish. Someone calling themselves It's Slushy Fox Furs Slushy typed hi. Hi. Are you here to help turn in crimes against at-risk adults? Are you here to help turn in child molesters and rapists? I did the right thing. Everybody that I went to about abuse blew me off. Talked over me, downplayed it. I need people to listen to understand, not listen to interrupt. When they're busy asking questions, what they need to do is be listening. You have plenty of time for asking questions later. For the time being, you need to listen to understand, not share stories about you. That's the thing, is that what the police are trained to do, what these TFCC and TCCHC are trained to do, I got to try to find somebody who cares enough about their rights to learn those things like I have. Between finding that stuff out and complaining, most people would just complain. It's not wrong of me to speak up. So let's end this video. Plug in my electronics. Try to get a charge on them so they don't die. Whoever, it's Slushy Furs or whatever, Slushy Fox. Hi, good to see you. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a troll. I don't know if you're some random person who found my site on accident. If you're one of those people, I encourage you to look up the name Natalie Bollinger. I'd also make sure that this video isn't left hanging.